is this thing?
When things go wrong in a lab, expect the unexpected. And when people are purposely messing with the laws of nature, you know the world is headed in an unexpected direction. Today, we're revealing the most shocking and controversial results from secret scientific experiments. Aliens have been visiting Earth for many years now, and the government has been capturing them too, and experimenting on them for unknown reasons. And here is another proof of their activities. An anonymous user leaked this video on the internet. It seemed to be from a lab or medical facility. A scary looking alien was lying on the bed, but guess what? There has never been a report of an alien with such a swollen head. Looks like the doctors were responsible for this. Maybe they just injected it with a serum to see the reaction, and a reaction they did get. Hatched nightmare. In 2023, an anonymous source uploaded this video from an unknown location. It was a freshly hatched baby dragon, and another one was on the way. If dragons were a myth, looks like they aren't going to be anymore. Who knows how big this baby will grow, and will it be able to breathe fire? I can't decide if it will be cool to see a fully grown dragon, or if it's something we should all be very, very scared of. Turtle throat. A biologist shared a hair-raising video on the internet. He was holding a strange creature in his hand, completely indescribable. This eerie object is the stuff of nightmares. One would think it is an alien monster, but it actually belongs to Earth. This is just the model of the inside of a turtle's neck. It is no wonder turtles choke on plastic bags that they swallow, as their throat is so rough there is no way to spit out. And that is why the poor turtles pass away. Treadmill slug. Going to the gym is exhausting enough, but when you see something like this, yep, that's your cue to leave. Now, I don't know where exactly this was filmed. Some say it was secretly released by an Area 51 whistleblower who simply wanted to prove that we're not only in contact with aliens, but catering them to our gyms too. Others believe this might be a hyper-intelligent creature produced somewhere in a lab by unknown scientists. Well, whatever this is, let's just hope it stays behind the scenes for now. Little monsters. An explorer found some strange creatures off the coast of Florida. It is hard to decide if these are aliens or mutated animals. Even describing them in words is hard, but these things were hanging from the lower side of a pier, and they had peculiar looking sacks, and scary looking mouths came out of them. Looks like they were predators of a kind, and were waiting for some prey to fall in their mouths. Thank God they only came in small sizes. And let us hope a scientist doesn't decide to experiment with these little creatures. Monktastic.
It's the devil's hand, and I'm king.
Think Planet of the Apes is unrealistic? You won't be thinking that in a bit. After years of trial and error, scientists in America finally made an absolutely stupefying breakthrough. 23 years ago, they succeeded in breeding a monkey that could talk. But it didn't just say random words. It discussed philosophy as if it was Aristotle himself.
Here's to be a beast that can talk.
It dressed like a human, wore glasses like a human, read books like a human, and gained knowledge better than the average human too. And it didn't seem happy with the way the human beings treated it too. You know what? I'm gonna be treating monkeys extra nicely from now on. Can't risk it.
Neat in the eyes.
Steroid's dog. It looks like a dog, but is it? Sure, it's sporting the appearance of one, but there's just something off about it. Now, I don't know whether it's just me or not, but this dog is clearly suffering from something, almost as if it was unnaturally modified, but by whom? Some think this dog was a rescue from an animal testing lab. Others believe this might just be a dog suffering from old age. Let's hope whatever's going on doesn't last long, because if someone is purposely messing with dogs, I'm calling John Wick. Nameless creature. Wait, what? What even is this thing? If anything, it is just 3 arms attached together pulling 2 wheels. 2 of the hands work as the feet, and the third one is at the place where the head should be. It is a completely bizarre and inexplicable creature. How does one even name such a thing? And it is clear as day that a scientist created this. But if the scientists can make a faceless, eyeless, and noseless being, what is there to stop them from making a real monster? Spy pigeon. Pigeons have been used as spies and messengers throughout history, particularly during times of war, due to their homing ability and reliability, but looks like even now they are being employed as spies. In 2023, a pigeon hunter trapped a pigeon. He thought it was like any ordinary pigeon, of course, but when he spread its wings, he got shocked. There were letters on the inside of the wings. This pigeon was transferring a decoded message somewhere. The letters weren't in any recognizable language, or else the mystery would have been solved right away. Freaky long legs. In 2024, a curious explorer visited a deserted Chernobyl medical facility. I have no idea what he was hoping to see there, but he surely wasn't expecting this. A huge and scary arachnid was hanging out in one of the rooms. It was at least a foot high and had 10 legs instead of 8. A netizen blamed growth hormones for its unnatural growth, but that doesn't explain the extra legs. It surely was some genetic mutation experiment by a mad scientist somewhere, and he must have used this abandoned facility for his experiments. Clearly, so he'd never be caught out. Snappity turtle. Oh boy, looks like this snapping turtle snapped too hard and its jaw fell off. But wait just a second, it actually appears to have 2 mouths now. Something fishy has definitely happened here. Most probably a scientist gave this poor creature some sort of a mutation agent, or maybe an enzyme of some kind, and that resulted in this situation. Or else why would a healthy turtle sprout 2 mouths? Thankfully, the turtle didn't seem to have lost normal function, and it is snapping as always. Grateful dog. Imagining our pets in heaven is a terrifying thought for most of us. But let's be real, if we had the chance to bring them back to life, we wouldn't pass it up, would we? But reincarnation happens only in movies, right? Wrong. A few decades ago, a group of Russian scientists achieved the impossible. They gave a dog new life after it had passed away. Regardless of what the whole procedure was, in the end it took a few taps on a table for the dog to open its eyes again. And that must have been either a really grateful dog or a really tired one. Kaiju skin mite. If you thought that the kaiju from Pacific Rim only existed in movies, think again. A scientist exploring a remote island found this creepy creature. The location was near a nuclear testing site. The resulting radiation affected the ecosystem, and this is what we got. A kaiju skin mite. Its face looks similar to that of a spider, and its body might as well be an armored tank. Its wriggly feet were its creepiest feature. Imagine this mite crawling on your skin. Gives you extreme jeepers, doesn't it? Dog-crocodile.
What the f is this thing? What?
Who could even think of crossbreeding a dog and a crocodile? But clearly some unknown scientists did. Found by a resident of Louisiana in his backyard a month ago, this creature had the body of a dog, but the snout of a crocodile. It had elongated claws for paws as well. Confused and scared about what it was, the resident uploaded the video on social media. Apparently it is a common sighting in South Africa, and they call it a dog-crocodile. Was it the result of crossbreeding or a science experiment? Netizens are still scratching their heads over it.
It looks like a dog. What the f?
Ghastly beast.
وأخيرا قدرنا نصيد هذا الحيوان بعد معاناة دامت.
Now is what you call truly terrifying. This beast was neither walking nor moving. It was just lying in the corner, and anyone's skin would crawl just looking at this. It had the deformed face of a human being and the hair of a ghastly beast. This was supposed to be impossible, yet here it was. It seems like the sinister experiment of a scientist. Maybe they mixed the DNA of a human with a hairy sloth. God knows what they were trying to create, but if the purpose was to make a monster, they succeeded.
بعد معاناة دامت 3 أيام نركض وراه.
Alien lizard. hold on a second, what even is this? Is this a lizard? But then look at its long arms and legs, and its skin is even weirder. It seems as if there are tiny stones attached to its skin. It either crawled out of a volcano or fell out of the sky. Because this creature is definitely not earthly, or maybe some earthly scientist did something fishy here. What were they even trying to achieve though? I just can't think of a single plausible theory. Moo seal. When a group of Hawaiian fishermen found a seal washed offshore, this was the last thing on their mind. The seal had the head of a cow, and with horns too. The fishermen were perplexed and could only watch in awe. No one had any idea how such a creature could even exist. We can rule out natural mutation, as that would have only deformed some of its features. So such a thing with a head from a completely different species can only be created in a lab by some high IQ scientists with twisted minds. Faced fish. Oh well now, add another feather to the scientist's cap, but where in the world do they get these ideas from? No wonder people say scientists are mad. A fisherman in Miami found this strange creature in his hook. It had the body of a regular fish, but the face of a human. It had no eyebrows or hair, but the face was there. It was for sure created in a lab. And someone needs to tell these crazy scientists that playing with nature isn't a joke. It can have repercussions. Croak a lot.
Pretty gross, huh?
Wouldn't you say Hawaii is the best spot for some scientific mischief? Just throw some gene-mutating enzymes into the air and get out. Whether you agree or not, some scientists did do something froggy in the islands. A couple of siblings exploring the islands in 2011 found an unusual toad. It had no head at all, just a wide open mouth in its place.
Not your average frog. It's kind of missing a face.
Netizens were shocked and wondered, how did this toad even hunt for flies? Some said it was a natural mutation, but it doesn't look like it. The toad was clearly affected by external sources to morph into such a pitiable form. And we know who it was.
It's still alive, somehow. No one knows how it eats.
Dinosaur returns. The scientists aren't even hiding their handiwork anymore. 3 weeks ago, a Chinese scientist exhibited their creation in front of the media. It was a baby dinosaur, and the scientist was cradling it as if it was just a puppy. They surely made this out of fossilized eggs. And if they can make this in a laboratory, what else is there they can't create? Let's hope they don't recreate a dangerous dinosaur, because I'm pretty sure no one wants a rerun of Jurassic Park. Just Dobby. A resident in the UK visited his relatives in London. There he found a shocking creature. It looked like a goblin. The visitor was scared, but then he was told the truth about it. His relatives worked on the set of Harry Potter, and this was just a model of Dobby the elf, so nothing to be scared of here, guys. This is just a prop, but it does look so real though. No wonder the visitor got so scared. Pog.
What the?
Now, what have we got here? This particular creature was strolling on a road near Louisiana, and a few friends driving by spotted it. Its hooves and belly resembled that of a pig.
That's a pig!
But its ears belonged to a dog. Even its face was a scary mixture of a dog and a pig. There is no way such a creature can exist naturally. Some scientist somewhere clearly did some experiments. I have no idea what they were trying to make, but they did succeed in making this bizarre abomination.
What do I do?
Goatman. Looks like Portugal is home to strange monsters. A couple of friends in a local neighborhood spotted a man sitting with a pole from afar. They thought the man needed some kind of help, so they went to him. However, when they neared him, they realized something extraordinary. It wasn't a man at all. It was a goatman. It had the body of a human, but the head and hooves of a goat. There is clearly some mutation or genetic modification at work here. Blue cat. We've seen quite a few things that might seem out of the ordinary, but still make sense. But blue cats, how do you explain that? How could anyone even think of doing such a thing? An Egyptian citizen uploaded the video of this blue cat on social media about a year ago. The cat wasn't just dyed blue from the fur, even its tongue was blue as well. It just can't be a naturally born creature. Surely, some scientists somewhere decided to make it like this. No idea how they pulled it off, but if their idea was to pull off a prank, it was definitely in bad taste. Who had dogs? 3 years ago, people found a few dogs outside an old chemical factory in the Russian city of Nizhny Novgorod. And what was their special feature? They all had blue fur. The dogs were accommodated in an animal shelter. The vets there were confused about their mysterious appearance. However, they behaved like normal dogs and had normal feeding habits too. They did toxicology reports on their furs too, but didn't find anything out of the ordinary. So they referred the matter to some scientists, who too scratched their heads at this weird phenomenon. However, we can safely blame the chemical factory for this. Maybe the dogs took a dip where they shouldn't have. Brazilian dogman. A couple ran into a dog-like creature in Petrolina. It was lying on the road in an unconscious state. The couple knew immediately this wasn't an ordinary dog. They called the ambulance for it, but unfortunately the creature had passed away. But the hospital workers still took the carcass away. When the couple uploaded the video on social media, netizens told them about its reality. It was a dogman. It is described as a 7-foot-tall bipedal creature with a human torso and blue or amber eyes. It walks on its hind legs and howls like a human. It was mostly sighted in Michigan, but looks like it is expanding its territory now. Vampire bat. People say Mexico is the country of mythical and ancient monsters, but this particular monster is neither mythical nor old. It is a vampire bat. It resides in caves and hunts at night. They feed on mammals, cows, and sometimes even human beings. And yes, if you are thinking they feed on what other vampires feed on, you are right. They have such sharp teeth that their prey don't even know they're nearing their end until it's too late. A true vampire indeed.
Look at that thing.
Two-tailed. Now what all is there that the scientists haven't spared? To experiment even on a lizard is just plain ridiculous. A park goer in Colorado found this one. It was a lizard all right, but had 2 tails. It also seemed sluggish compared to healthier lizards. It must be a side effect of whatever the scientist injected it with. Looks like the scientist was trying to conduct replication experiments and used this lizard as a guinea pig. Most probably the results weren't as expected, or else they wouldn't have freed this lizard. Now the poor thing probably can't even chase a fly off its head. Tailed spider. Oh, what? Just 4 weeks ago, a California resident found a weird spider in his garden. It had normal legs, but a tail longer than its body. It had 2 sacs that appeared to be lungs, or maybe they were filled with eggs. The resident had great courage of heart to pick up this spider on his finger. If it had been me, I would have been calling pest control for this one. But what was going on in the mind of the scientist who decided to give a tail to a spider? Let's hope their games with nature don't lead to the creation of a real monster. Chicken Little.
She's like, what the?
When scientists speak about increasing the amount of meat in a chicken, this isn't what they mean. A Michigan family woke up to a surprising scene in their backyard in 2020. One of their chickens had sprouted human arms overnight. Even the dogs and the other chicken went into a frenzy seeing this astounding spectacle. They all tried to help the affected chicken, but it was the most shocked of the lot and was running helter-skelter in terror itself. Looks like there was some mix-up at the embryology lab. Not only had the chicken gained meat at the wrong places, but of the wrong kind as well. These mad scientists need to stop pulling off such experiments. Real Connors. Once upon a time, there was a Dr. Connors in the Spider-Man comics. He became famous because he turned into a reptilian human being, but looks like that isn't fantasy anymore, because a leaked video from a secret laboratory has proven something shocking, that human beings are now capable of turning into reptilian beings in real. In the video, a man removed the skin off his face as if it was just a mask, and revealed what he truly was. A scary-looking reptilian being. It looked like this guy didn't lose his humanity. The shocking part is that the guy agreed to be experimented upon like this, but the 6 scientists who made him like this were even weirder. Not so alien. When you see this, you may think it is an alien of some kind, or that it is a new cryptid creature, but no. Sadly, this is just a frog, and it is all bloated because a scientist thought it would be funny to swell its lymph nodes. The poor creature had lost its navigation abilities, and seemed disturbed at its new appearance. It had been housed in a water tank, and sadly passed away soon after. Rest in peace, poor froggy. Third eye. In 2023, a video surfaced online that took the internet by storm. The anonymous user who uploaded it didn't specify their location, or else they would have to face a storm of people outside their house too. It was a video of their cat, with a third eye. While the cat stared at its owner annoyingly with its 2 eyes, the third eye kept darting in its socket. Could it see more than normal eyes? That might be the reason why the cat was annoyed at the owner too. Monster cargo. Now look who has been caught red-handed. On October 23rd, 2023, a driver captured a bizarre sight on the highway to Nevada. A truck was carrying a strange load. It was a hunched-up huge animal. One could even say it was a big rabbit, but it had weird markings all over it and had a strange metallic color too. Clearly the government has been supervising some weird experiments. It won't be far from the truth to say that all these mad scientists are running amok with the government's blessings. Spy bugs. It isn't science fiction anymore. These fly-sized spy drones actually exist now, and they aren't just fly-sized, they are flies. They are fully functional too. They can record videos while flying long distances, and one will only think of them as nothing more than a fly. A farmer caught this one in South Africa. It is a bit bigger than normal flies, but its abdomen clearly proves it is made out of titanium or some other light metal. Two-headed dog. In 1959, a Soviet scientist Vladimir Damakov conducted an astounding experiment. He managed to create a two-headed dog. He used a surgical technique called grafting. He successfully transplanted the head, shoulders, and the front legs of a puppy onto the back of an adult dog. The experiment was praised and criticized by different circles of the scientific community. Unfortunately, both the dogs passed away soon after, but Damakov didn't stop from doing his experiments and created numerous two-headed dogs in the years to come. But if you want to know who to hand over to John Wick, remember the name of Vladimir Damakov. Count Dracula. In 2022, a resident in Transylvania came across a nightmarish thing. He was passing by an old building during his morning walk. There, he spotted a weird creature hanging upside down in that building. It had the head of a human being and wings of a bat, but it was as tall as a human being and gazing sinisterly into the distance. When the locals saw it, they screamed in terror. They said that Count Dracula had come to haunt people again. But if such monsters are appearing in broad daylight, people do have the right to be spooked out. Dog seal. When a man in Florida went to a pond for fishing, this isn't what he was expecting. He probably thought there will be ordinary fish there, but there was something monstrous in the pond. The creature pushed its snout out of the water first, and it definitely wasn't a normal fish. It then plunged after the fisher's bait and revealed a scary tail. Who knew even ponds have such vicious creatures? But looking back, you could say that the head resembled that of a dog actually. Looks like another scientist conducted a cruel experiment. Stranger Things. When a man in Savannah, Georgia was taking a walk on a beach on the 21st of May, 2023, he wasn't expecting to experience anything extraordinary, let alone sighting a tentacle monster. The creature looked like an overgrown spider with triple the legs. What added suspense to the scene was men walking around the monster in hazmat suits. The man was shocked and scared. He thought he had stumbled upon a deep cover government experiment or something. Excited that he found something spectacular, he uploaded the video on social media. But there he was told that it was actually the set of the series called Stranger Things, and there was nothing to worry about. Bawling parrot. Man entered a sealed lab, heard mysterious crying sounds, thought it was a human in cage, looked closely and found truth. Many claimed that parrot might be a part of some horrific scientific experiments. Lo and behold, it was a parrot making these sounds. But when the person uploaded the video online, he was met with an interesting question. Since when have parrots made baby noises? Surely someone was experimenting on the bird. Double bark. Remember the Russian scientist who decided to produce two-headed dogs? Looks like someone took a leaf from his book and created one of their own. In 2023, an anonymous user from Spain uploaded this video from their backyard barn. It was a two-headed dog. Looks like the user was a scientist themselves and wanted to boast about their creation to the world without getting in trouble. Well, good job, sir. Let's hope the police finds you soon. Or better yet, another scientist decides to experiment on you. Giant spider. 11 years ago, the people of Lisbon were struck by terror. The city bridge was mounted by the unlikeliest of creatures. It was a giant spider, and it was as big as a Harley Davidson. The creature was exploring the bridge. Maybe it was looking for a place to hide, and it should be if it had escaped from a lab. God knows what kind of atrocious scientists experimented on this scared being. The local media reported this incident on their television too, and hundreds of people recorded it on their cell phone. Kabat. It is both amazing and frightening what a scientist can achieve with their skills. Looks like a scientist somewhere wasn't happy with the size of their cat's ears and decided to add some bat matter into it. The result was this: a cute looking cat with ears of a bat. But the cat was definitely not happy with the end result. It looked gloomy and sad. Let's hope the scientist reads his cat's mind and puts its ears back to normal. Snakeman. Some things are better left unexplained, but what to do if it is staring right at you? And this leaked video from a secret lab is impossible to ignore. The scientists there were working on a bizarre experiment. They were trying to grow snake skin on a human being, and looks like they succeeded too. But the worst part is that the man had also begun to show characteristics of a snake. He was beginning to move like one too. It is hard to decide who is spookier, the snake man or the scientist who did this to him. Open discussion. If you had any doubts about the insanity of scientists, you shouldn't have after this. A worker in a secret lab leaked a collection of videos proving two things. One, that aliens have come to Earth. And two, the scientists have been experimenting on them since then. It is like the scientists just can't keep their hands off of anything. Even if you were to give them an eraser, they would graft a sharpener out of it. And it is anyone's guess what these scientists have been trying to achieve by dissecting these aliens. Let's hope it isn't for sinister intentions. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again,